Hi Capricorn, welcome to your August 2020 Astrology 33 love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for more details there. As far as what's in front of us, this is what I call the bridge and the gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards as well for some additional insight. That sort of bridge and the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Also keep in mind it's just a general reading, so I'm going to refer to the cards on the left as your energy, but if you feel more like the cards on the left represent the other person's and the cards on the right represent your energy, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way. Past energy on your side, we have the Princess of Coins. So this is actually the equivalent of the Page of Pentacles. And to me, what this is saying is that it might say that you weren't putting much effort into the connection, maybe because you had financial concerns that were more pressing for you at the time. The reason I say that is because of the body language. You know, she has her back turned to the cards on the right side. So that's one factor that makes me think that. And then also, if we just look at the trees in the background, it doesn't look like there's much going on there, right? So I feel like that's just saying that you might have felt like you were stuck in this energy for a long time. So I feel like this is saying that, you know, you might have just had financial concerns that were more pressing as opposed to the relationship, and possibly even, you know, just saying that you were fixated on that as well. So you might just not have had much time and energy to put into the connection. Interestingly enough, the past energy on their side is the Knave of Pentacles, which is basically the exact same energy, which is that Page of Pentacles energy. And another way to look at it too is that in the traditional tarot, what always stands out to me with the Page of Pentacles is that that pentacle is just out of their reach. So it could just be saying that maybe both of you had your own goals as far as finances that you were more concerned with in the past, and maybe you weren't just too focused on the romantic aspect of the relationship at the time due to that. And it could just be saying that because you had those goals too, that might have kept the commitment, you know, the relationship between the two of you becoming committed just out of reach as well. So that could be what's going on there. I will say though, looking at just taking the artwork in consideration between the two, I will say that it seems more likely that this person might have been putting a bit more effort into the connection with you. You know, maybe trying to infuse a little bit of passion into the situation. The reason I say that is because we see the cup energy there, even though it's clearly it is a pentacle card. So that's what I'm seeing there. You know, they might have put a little bit more energy into the situation, but like I said, it looks like both of you just might have just been more focused on finances than the actual relationship itself. And because of that, it was causing a little difficulty in getting the relationship off the ground. All right, in the present position on your side, we have the Three of Coins, which is actually Capricorn energy, and we have the Three of Arrows, which is Libra energy. So, I mean, what always stands out to me with the Three of Coins in this deck is if we look at her facial expression, she doesn't look too happy, right? So, to me, this could be pointing to a couple different things. For one, it could be saying that you actually might have, you might be building momentum with your career, maybe having some success there, but at the same time, again, because maybe you're putting so much energy and focus into that, when it comes to your love life, you feel like there's disappointment, right? Like, okay, I'm putting so much energy into this, and I don't have enough energy to put into my love life. For some of you, this could also be saying that maybe this was something that you thought would be more fulfilling for you, that once you reached a certain level of success in your career, that you would have felt more fulfilled, and maybe that's the disappointment that you're looking at there too, or avoiding looking at, I should say. If we look at her, she has her back turned to that heart. Can't get it to focus, but I guess you just have to take my word for it. She definitely just looks like she's fearful to look back at that. And I mean, you could see why it looks a bit daunting, right? We see the storm in the background clearly. So it could just be saying that for some of you, maybe this is a wound that you guys have had for a long time too. And you might have thrown yourselves into your career thinking that maybe that would actually help you get past that. And maybe you're starting to find that that's not the case. present energy on their side, we have Death. And this is actually the major arcana card for Scorpio. So given that I did see a little bit of a water vibe with the Knave of Pentacles in the past too, some of you could definitely be dealing with a water sign, possibly a Scorpio. But if it's not pointing to that, another thing that this could be pointing to as well could just be saying that if they're feeling like I was saying, I did feel, regardless of the scenario, that it looks like this person was the one putting in more effort toward the connection in the past. And if that's the case, and it just feels like, you're just not really working with them on the situation, this could just be saying that they might actually decide to cut ties with you. I don't necessarily see it as like a final thing, though. It's possible since it's a major arcana. But what this really points to me is, as far as the timeline goes, it wouldn't surprise me if this happened for you guys when we have that full moon in Aquarius, which will be early on in August. And the reason I say that is because it's actually going to make a square aspect with Uranus in your 5th house of romance. And then the Leo energy for you guys, that'll, the sun will be in Leo during that time, is actually your 8th house. So as far as the timeline goes, it could be one of those things. It might be a sudden breakup. So keep an eye out for that full moon in Aquarius. That could definitely be something there. But again, like I said, I don't necessarily see it as permanent. It could just be more of a thing where they could just be frustrated with the situation and feel like there's, they're not gaining any traction. And they could just kind of blow up temporarily. Future energy on your side, we have the 3 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles. So interesting energies here. This is actually Aries energy, which for you guys is your 4th house. We have Mars moving through there right now. It's going to be there through the rest of the year, and it's going to make some tough aspects with all the planets in your sign too. So could be some tension in the home environment because of that. But this 10 of Pentacles, what I feel like this is saying here is if you're feeling a bit dejected, and again, like I said, if you feel like you've really been putting a lot of energy into your career and maybe you just feel like you're not where you want to be, with these 2 cards coming up together, it could just be saying that you have to trust that you've put in the work, and with that you will get the rewards, but it just might be a bit delayed for you guys. Keep in mind Venus is picking up speed again. The retrograde ended recently. It's finally moving out of its shadow. So that's going to help for you guys as well. But yeah, that's what I see as far as that goes. And then this could just be saying that maybe by the time we get toward the end of Virgo season, so that would be in September, given that this represents the last 10 degrees of Virgo, could just be saying that you might see some success around that time too. So whether it be with this person, like I said, if maybe cooler heads will prevail in a certain way, or if it's just where, again, like I said, you guys are just so wrapped up in your finances you can't really put any energy into the connection. Could just be saying that the energy might lighten up for you guys around that time. Alright, future energy on their side is the Knight of Swords. So to me, this is saying that I feel like this is definitely an indicator that they will come back in to communicate, even if they do cause that, death moment in the present position. I feel like this is saying that, they'll come back in and communicate, but I do have to say it might rub you the wrong way, just because if we look at the Knight of Swords energy in this deck in particular, it looks a bit aggressive, right? So depending on how you might take that, I don't know, but I feel like, again, for me, it just feels like it's all coming out of frustration for this person because they feel like nothing's moving with the 2 of you. So keep that in mind, and do with that what you will. Like I said, for some of you, I can imagine you probably would not be feeling them coming toward you that way at all, but for others of you, maybe you could work around that, especially if you do know that, yes, you realize you have been just putting a lot of energy toward your finances and not really putting any energy into the relationship, then, maybe be a little more likely to give them some leniency if they do actually have an outburst. But yeah, that's what I see there. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Princess of Staves. So this is actually the equivalent of the Page of Wands. So this is actually an energy of taking action. So for some of you, I feel like you will get there. And what stands out to me, though, is if we look at the horse, it's pointing away. So for some of you, this could just be saying that you guys might mutually split for a while because, like I said, I feel like you have other things on your mind right now and you can't really put much energy into the connection. The good thing is, though, I do see underneath that card we actually have the Queen of Coins, which is actually the court card for Capricorn. So pretty positive energy there. I feel like it's just saying, you might have to be a little patient. Try not to be too hard on yourselves as far as getting things off the ground, as far as your finances, and eventually you will be able to put more energy into your actual relationship. And then bottom of the deck on their side, we have strength. So this is Leo energy. So again, like I said, I feel like this person just might there might be some kind of an outburst, but I feel like they will definitely come back in. And with the strength card there, I feel like they could just be frustrated, feeling like you're not really communicating with them. So that could be part of it as well. There might be some underlying thing there that you're going through with the Three of Arrows in the present, but maybe you're just not telling them. It could be one of those classical things where you tell them, oh, everything's fine. And then maybe you even might just use the cover of work as opposed to actually addressing the deeper issue, like, oh no, everything's fine. I just have a lot of going on with work right now, when really there is an issue that you do have, but you're not really addressing it. So just keep that in mind. They might actually press you a little bit this month. All right. Next, we'll see what we get from the Oracle cards. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck here. And I did pre-shuffle this deck, and what we're looking for here is just some jumpers as far as unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while and nothing comes up, I'll just move on to the next Oracle card, since it's just a general reading. Okay, got 2 cards there, and then we'll see if we have any unspoken messages from them to you now. Almost have one there. Alright, I'll give it a few more shuffles and see if we get anything, but doesn't look like anything's coming up yet. Okay, got one. Alright, so try to get the card on the near side. There we go. We have I'm a better person because of you. I mean, really, I don't necessarily see like you have a lot of optimism and positive energy toward the connection right now, but it could be one of those things where maybe if they do actually cause a bit of a commotion in the present position, could just be one of those things where maybe it actually might wake you up out of a slump in some way, however weird that may sound. And then here we have, if I knew then what I know now, I would have made different choices. So interesting message here, because what that could be saying for some of you is, like I said, maybe if it's just one of those things where you might not even realize that you really are totally just so fixated on your work and your finances that you have been neglecting the connection, and then it might take for that person to leave for you to realize, that, oh wow, maybe I wasn't putting in any work. Or like I said, if there is some underlying issue there, but you're just not communicating it, that might bring a realization for you as well. And then the card we have on their side is maybe we're just too different. And this is an interesting card too, because obviously I could see where they would get there. Like I was saying, I felt like this energy of frustration on their side, and that might be what causes that death moment. Like I said, especially keep an eye out for that full moon we have coming up in Aquarius. And well, actually, maybe even we're going to have that square with Mercury and Mars as well. So it could even be more recent. So I think that's going to take place on Monday. So keep an eye out for that too, for those of you who watch this right when I post it. But yeah, so it could just be one of those things where I feel like they're just going to get frustrated. But what's interesting about it is the fact that you guys have the exact same energy in the past position. That's kind of rare. and that's that Page of Pentacles energy. So it's one of those things where, like I said, I feel like the connection might have just felt just out of reach for both of you. And like I said, it might have been because you both had your own goals that you were focusing on that took more precedence over the relationship itself. But it definitely looks like at a certain point you guys were on the same page. So it's possible some of you could get back there, but for others of you, maybe it will be more of a final split. We'll see what the Wisdom of the Oracle card adds to the mix. Same situation here as far as I did pre-shuffle this deck, but here I'm just looking for one card and then we'll wrap up. Oh, there we go. All right. You guys got Observer. There's the artwork, and the number is 49. All right, we'll see what it says. It says perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. The Oracle's message: most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did it. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. So definitely an interesting message there. And with the observer thing, like I was saying, I did feel like a bit of a detached energy from you guys. And like I said, it could just be that you have a lot of preoccupation around your finances and your career. So hopefully that resonated with you. The relationship message says, sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get all jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo of an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. Take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take the higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself, in others, and in the landscape. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. So definitely an interesting message there, and I almost feel like that's a message that might even resonate more for the person on this side, but also for the card on this side as well. So I feel like both of you could take something away from that. So hopefully if there are any cross watchers, you guys got something from that message as well. But yeah, it could just be one of those things where, like I said, maybe the volatile energy that we'll see with the transits might cause a blow up between the two of you. And maybe in the moment, that's what that three of arrows is pointing to, where you might really take it to heart and feel hurt by it. But if that's the case, it looks like things can get back on track in the future. Like I said, try to be patient with them as far as it looks like they're going to be just frustrated. So something to keep in mind there. And like I said, it's up to you guys, obviously, on a personal level, whether you could forgive that or not. But it looks like there is desire there. Like they are interested, but I feel like they're just frustrated and feel like they don't know the way forward. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. It was kind of a weird reading, but we'll wrap up there and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.